Greetings, YouTube. So I had another one of my rather cinematic dreams yesterday, and I thought it might be useful as fodder for some RPG inspiration. So here it is. The premise of the dream is that the gods, all the gods, are real. And they're here, right now. Everywhere. We just don't see them, at least most of us don't see them, because the godlight of Yahweh is so bright that it drowns out our ability to perceive everyone else. Now, some of us have turned off our ability to be affected by the godlight. They're atheists. But some of us can perceive through the veil of Yahweh's godlight and see the other gods. And we are non-Christians. Now, in the dream, I play one of the gods that is not Yahweh. Interestingly, it's a god based on a comic book character, because enough people have believed in this character over time that he has been invested with godhood, unbeknownst to most people. And that is Superman. Now, I'm not Superman in the dream. I'm Clark Kent. And there's a distinction, because he has spalled off into two gods. One, the big blue Boy Scout with the cape, and the other, the researching academic journalist. So you have these two aspects being separate deities in this dream. And having studied for decades and decades, I finally think I've come up with a mechanism in the dream that would allow me to bring all the gods, myself included, back from the veil and to drown out Yahweh's godlight by slaying him. And the mechanism I've discovered is a certain way that if a god is killed, his power is shared with everybody else. And my plan is this: kill enough gods so that those that remain have a whole lot more power. Convince the gods in charge of each pantheon, or the individual gods that, in this case, they are not in a pantheon, to be my generals and to lead an army against Yahweh, to slay him and share his energy, which is significantly greater than all of ours at this point. And once I have done that, to ascend to the leadership of the entire terrestrial pantheon. And the first act as the leader of this pantheon is to bring back the first god I kill, Superman. I invest myself both in the process and with my own power by killing my counterpart. Who better for Clark Kent to kill than the god he knows most intimately? And once I have ascended to becoming Kent Kal-El, the concept being, frequently in ancient religions, a god would be fused with another god when one nation would conquer another, and it's kind of the same concept, that Superman and Clark Kent fused to become Kent Kal-El, with Kent's name first. Because he came up with this idea. And then, once I have done that, to bring back all the gods that we slew, so that in the process of pooling their power, so that we could take on Yahweh. Now, over the course of the dream, I align myself with Athena, because I need a warrior. I'm Clark Kent. I'm not much of a warrior. I kill a number of gods on my own through duplicity, through stealth, through assassination. And I do so unabashedly. Interestingly, the characters from Toy Story are present as godlings. It's kind of cherub-like characters in the dream. I thought that was kind of interesting. Kind of like penned away, because we don't know what to do with them quite. But I put them to good use. I can't remember what that good use was, but I remember I released them intentionally. And over the course, we are moving from place to place, often on foot. Well, not foot in the sense that we're actually walking, but we're using that mechanism to appear to blend in with the world. And as Athena is walking through the world, the animals of the hunt join her. Actually, all numerous animals join her. But the animals that join us are the animals that are statues. So stone and metal are just animating as we walk by and following us. Now the humans, because they can't perceive us, just think their statues were stolen. They're not watching statues of stone and bronze and steel walking down the street with us. They just perceive their statues as gone. And we encounter a group of people in the street. They're very tall people. In actuality, they're a herd of centaurs, disguised as people. Because again, the average person can't see them for what they are, even though they're right there. And one of them is a young girl. And she has that wonderful look of disdain on her face that young people often have when dealing with the older generation. Like, oh, you're here. And in the dream, I'm looking at her, and I communicate to her non-verbally that I'm seeing through your BS. I know you are a centaur, not just a tall woman. But I'm also communicating to her, I'm seeing through your BS, through your false bravado of youth, because I know you're scared, just like all the rest of us are. Oh, so scared. Which, of course, is the point of the dream for me. In the course of the dream, you have these, adventures of slaying gods and things like that. Interestingly, most of the killings I do involve a very small, specifically shaped dagger. It was quite interesting. I was very, very specific in the dream about its shape. But what I think would be useful for role-playing games is the setup I've created. Now, I woke up shortly after the encounter with the centaurs because my alarm clock went off, so I actually don't know how the dream ended. My dreams actually are cinematic. I could have actually achieved the ends that I wanted. So here's the concept. This could be useful as a background for a game of superheroes, modern fantasy, urban fantasy, I guess would be the proper term. And you could be playing the humans that are discovering that this is going on. You could be playing the gods that are trying to overthrow Yahweh. You could play the angels that are attempting to defend Yahweh. And it can be at any stage in this war. It could be a long, slow, protracted war, with the gods slowly gaining more and more power as more of their members are slain and their power pooled with the rest. You could roleplay the battle itself in a big full-scale World War II kind of thing, like literally going after each other in this huge metaphysical level of conflict. Buddha could walk in and find a better solution. And then you could also deal with the aftermath. Yahweh's been slain. He's gone. His power is now absorbed into the gods that are left. Kal-El has raised all the gods back from the dead, something which happens all the time in mythology and different pantheons. So that all the gods have returned except for Yahweh. Yahweh's gone for good. He has been slain completely. His worshippers now have no God, so they must turn to others, who are now completely and utterly present in the real world. Once Yahweh's gone, and his God light has been extinguished and absorbed, all the people can now perceive that these gods are here, have always been here. The interesting thing is, can the atheists see them? Or the atheists, having severed themselves from the God light, completely blind to them? And if that is so, what are they perceiving in the world around them? Because now, magic is full-blown and back, folks. It's there. There's no denying it exists for those who are part of these pantheons, with Kal-El as the leader of terrestrial gods. So what do the atheists perceive it as? Or did the godlight finally shine through to them when there are so many things going on that they can't dispute their existence? So you could throw a lot of moral, philosophical concepts into this on a number of different levels. So I'm throwing this out here for the gaming community to look at it and see what they can do with it. I'm probably never going to do it. This isn't really my kind of thing. I've never really been into this kind of big, huge, sweeping thing. It's never been This is like something right out of Exalted or really high-level DC Heroes. I would probably use DC Heroes for this because I'm a real fan of that system as far as superhero games are concerned. I think it really does a nice job of handling the different disparaging parallels between, you know, the film noir style, gritty, shadow, spider kind of superheroes, all the way up through the big blue Boy Scout. So tell me, do you think this would be an interesting idea? What would you do with it? How would you change it? What would be your outcome? Would the gods prevail? Would it be stalemate? What would the situation be at the end of this war? At what point in this war would you like to have the characters enter, and what level would you like to have them enter? Are they the humans discovering it? Are they the gods fighting for their in their rebellion, or are they the angels themselves fighting to defend Yahweh? So tell me, how would you handle this?